My name is Angela Johnson, and this is my final project for Human Resources 508, the Interpersonal Communication Project, Enlarging My Conversation. This presentation will consist of an introduction, my interpretation of what interpersonal communication is, my definition of enlarging the conversation, my overarching goal, my background and my behavior blend, potential barriers to reaching my overarching goal, my solution to noise pollution, and my plan of action. Stewart defines interpersonal communication as when communicators give and receive and talk and listen in ways that emphasize their uniqueness, immeasurability, responsiveness, reflectiveness, and addressability. My definition of enlarging the conversation includes inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling represents the receptive part of communication and involves perceiving and listening. Listening is the major component of communication, and mindful listening involves the mind and body working together to focus on one task and be fully engaged in that moment. Exhaling is being open with others and utilizing self-disclosure in order to deepen relationships. Peterson said, in communication, listening is more important than speaking. The listener's goal is to provide safety, to understand the speaker, to clarify, and to help talkers recognize their thinking and feeling. My overarching goal is to be more open, to take advantage of self-disclosure so that I do not keep my feelings and thoughts bottled up inside. Stewart says, you are more open with others when you disclose yourself to them, share your ideas, feelings, and perceptions, and let them know who you are as a person. My background is that I'm the middle child of 3, and I learned how to blend into the background. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, and my brother and sister were always louder than me, so I just learned to stay quiet. I was raised in a Pentecostal church, and my grandmother taught me how to be a peacemaker. So when conflict arose, I naturally just would not even emphasize my point in an effort to keep peace. I'm a survivor of mental, physical, and emotional abuse, and as a result, one of my defense mechanisms was to shut down if I felt danger was coming. So I would always shut down so that I would not have to deal with the conflict. I'm a very reserved person. I do not like to show my emotions if I'm hurt, angry, or upset. I keep it all inside, which is not healthy for me. My behavior blend, what is expected of me, I am an S-type. I'm also a competent specialist. I think more positive, I focus on the possible, I'm cheerful. When everything is wrong, I'm encouraging, and I am learning how to take more risk and be assertive. I'm also submissive, reserved, stable, dependable and trustworthy, self-sacrificing, and laid back. Some of the positive aspects of my behavioral blend is loyal and encouraging. I'm great at listening to others. I'm steady. I love helping others, and I can be insightful. I can see things from another perspective, whether I agree with them or not. Some of the negative aspects of my behavioral blend is that I can be too timid. I'm not as aggressive as I need to be. Sometimes I'm too laid back, and it causes me to miss out on opportunities. If I'm threatened, I can respond in a manner that's out of character for my normal reserved nature. I do not like change, and if anything threatens my security or stability, I will avoid it. I don't like conflict in any manner. I try to avoid it as much as possible, and I can also be stubborn. Once a relationship has been breached, I'm very reluctant to restore that relationship. So the potential barriers, the other potential barriers to me reaching my overarching goal is flat brain syndrome. When those stomach, heart, and head functions flatten, it causes me to react in a manner that's out of character, and that is a barrier to me becoming becoming more open and self-disclosing. In conversation, if I hear what I want to hear, I'll take it and run with it, as opposed to hear out the person. I may make my own perception, even if it's the wrong one. I'm naturally introverted, so I'm not comfortable stepping outside of my comfort zone. I like to stay where I know everything is going to be the same, consistent. When my security and stability is threatened, even when I attempt to step outside of my comfort zone, it's easier for me to revert back to not speaking up. If I feel like speaking up is going to cause a problem, I will not speak up and wish later that I had spoke up. Some other potential barriers is if I feel like I don't have enough time, I'll allow another person to dictate a conversation and I just won't speak up. If I'm around people that I do not know, it makes it difficult for me to self-disclose. I have to be comfortable. I have to feel like I can trust that person in order for me to speak up. I can be distracted by cell phones or text messages or games on my phone. So some interruptions also make it impossible for me or difficult for me to be more self-disclosing. In terms of solutions to noise pollution, I want to employ the listener's loop, where I provide strokes to the listener that let them know that I care about preserving the relationship. I want to invite encouraging feedback to let them know that they're free to speak, free to express their mind. I want to provide validating feedback that lets them know the point that they're being made is valid and it has merit. And finally, I want to provide fulfilling feedback to let the speaker know that the purpose and the goal of what they're saying is properly made. I also want to employ the intimacy winners loop. I want to let the speaker know that I care about them, that I'm approachable and they can feel comfortable talking to me. I want to share whatever information I can share to help them resolve their issues, which is a part of my self-disclosure. And I want to engage willingly when that person is speaking to let them know that it's okay to talk until their issue is resolved. So now we're at my plan of action. What will I do to achieve my overarching goal? I want to recognize flat brain syndrome as soon as it sets in and adjust my response to one that is godly and rational and not something that I will have to explain or apologize for later. When my children and my family speak to me, I want to stop what I'm doing, engage in what they have to say in that moment so they know that I care and I understand. I want to learn how to let the other happen to me while holding my ground at the same time, asserting myself and saying what's on my mind and not being passive, even if conflict is the result of me speaking up. I want to employ the tenets of dialogic listening, which are listening without pretense, understanding the other's views and situations, listening without judgment, and making sure that there is a supportive communication climate. I want to be more open in my prayers to God, knowing that it's okay to discuss my issues with Him because He has the answer to every problem that I can bring before Him. I want to use self-disclosure to deepen my relationships and improve the quality of my relationships. I want to, in self-disclosure, speak more about myself, my perceptions, my thoughts and feelings, and allow myself to be known and accepted by my family members, church congregation, colleagues, and friends. In listening, I want to always listen as a level 1 listener, being present and aware and knowledgeable, acknowledging the speaker and listening from my heart. As a final comment on self-disclosure and enlarging the conversation, King Solomon wrote in Proverbs 15:23, "A man has joy in making an apt answer, and a word spoken at the right moment, how good it is." Thank you for listening, and God bless you.